Hi Kay, congrats on your launch into retirement, and I'm so sorry I couldn't be there to join you tonight to celebrate. I'm currently working as a Chief of Staff in the Department of Technology in the San Francisco Unified School District, and in a couple weeks I'm starting a new job at the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. I wouldn't be here without your school reform class, which gave me an understanding of the complexities and challenges of public education, as well as an appetite to try to pull various levers to improve learning for students and educators. I really appreciate your giving me an opportunity to tee up in your class for a few years after graduation. The students were a vital pipeline of talent that allowed us to implement a bunch of major changes for teachers and students in the Boston Public Schools. I still find myself quoting you from 3, 4, and 5 years ago, so thanks again for that deep learning experience. My favorite thing about you is definitely that you taught barefoot.
Hi Kay, it's Angela Duckworth, and I guess I should say it's also Angie Lee, which is how you knew me when I was at Harvard bothering you. I was an undergraduate who had the crazy idea of starting a summer school for kids run by high school and college students, so older kids teaching younger kids. And you very patiently guided me through the process of starting that nonprofit during my senior year, and that began a lifelong friendship. I like to say to other people that I would not be in education if it weren't for you. I was pre-med, and I think my dad stopped speaking to me for quite a few months when he realized, to his horror, that his daughter was going into education. But you taught me that education is the most important thing anybody could devote their lives to, and you gave me a role model for making a difference. When I started tutoring kids and working in schools, it did cross my mind that maybe it's too hard of a problem, that you can't do something to really change things, and I saw by your example that you can. So I want to thank you for setting me on that path. You served on the board of that nonprofit, which was called Summer Bridge Cambridge, and now is called Breakthrough Collaborative. And you, again, with infinite wisdom and tremendous patience and the steely strength that is Kay Merseth, helped us prevail. And I am so honored that that nonprofit exists today, celebrating its silver 25th anniversary. And I hope when you look back at your many accomplishments, you will count that among them, because that institution would not exist were it not for your seminal contributions, and I mean that in the most literal way. You were there in the beginning. You seeded it. You may remember once, after I think a very bad breakup, and I was crying, I'm sure, on your shoulder, that you said that everyone's life tells a story, and you just have to make sure that of the many stories that your life could tell, that you're proud of the one that you tell. And I think at that point, struggling with, like, what am I going to do with my life, and what's the right thing to do, Kay? And you opened my eyes to the idea that there's not one right thing. There are a number of things that you could do that would be good with your life. And I am still telling my story, as of course you are, and I am proud of my story. So I want to thank you so much for being so much a part of it. I would not be the person I am today without you. I am forever grateful. I'm a huge fan, and I wish you the best in the next chapter of your story.
Hey, it's Judith here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. The year is 2000, and there are tons of us trying desperately to get into your class on educational reform. I walk up to you and introduce myself and say, "You need me in this class. I've lived through all of these educational reforms. I can tell stories." From that moment on, you become a beacon in my life. You taught me to write like a graduate student instead of a fourth grader. You convinced me my strength was be mentoring teachers, both new and experienced. You supported me in my evolution of becoming an educational leader, whether it was in mentoring or being a Broadel teacher or leading PLCs or being a member of school leadership teams, or in my new role as an instructional technologist supporting teachers in the field with their new technologies. In addition, you encouraged me to pursue my love of dogs as therapy in both classrooms and hospitals. Kay, thank you for touching me in such a way that we make a difference in this world. You are my mentor, my role model, and a dear, dear friend. I love you.
And I was in Kay's school reform class in 1993. Kay, here's a little blast from the past for you. What is the purpose? Purpose. What is the purpose of education? I wrote, as Kay probably remembers, for my final project in her class, not a paper, not an analysis, but actually an original rap song based on Michael Fullen's book. And I was shocked to discover that I actually still have a copy in the back of my closet, along with the lyrics, in case, Kay, you lost your copy. Kay taught me to think out the box at all times and to have fun, while at the same time focusing on what matters. And from her class, I started my education career as a teacher in one of Boston's most challenging and innovative high schools. They asked me to interview for Spanish teacher, and following in Kay's steps, as I had been taught so well, I didn't submit a resume or references. Instead, I presented the interview committee with, I don't know if you can see this, Lori's bag of tricks. And I passed it around, and each person on the interview committee had to reach in and pull out something that represented my style of teaching. So a carabiner to show I knew how to connect with kids. A toy so they knew that my learning and my Spanish teaching would be fun. They ended up hiring me on the spot and making me department chair as a first-year teacher. So obviously Kay's approach worked. I then went on to spend 15 years as one of the nation's early charter school reform pioneers, calling Kay out to help and continue her legacy as well. She would come to Lake Tahoe and grill the Port California charter school leaders in case studies, putting them on the spot and asking probing questions in a loving way, as only Kay can do. After 15 years of school reform and charter school work, I was tired and I went off on a vision quest to just take a break, where I ended up accidentally writing a book in my diary. I don't know if you can see, I'm not used to this video. Ended up writing this book in my leather journal in 4 days, which is all about everything that Kay taught me of living life fully, life is an adventure, and be your best self. Kay, you have been such an incredible mentor to me over the years. I can't believe it's been so many years. I just turned 50 a little while ago, and I just wish you the absolute best. You deserve to retire. You have helped so many of us to launch and continue to be our best selves as people and in our education careers. Thank you for all that you've given to me and so many.
Out here in Portland, Oregon, I'm an associate professor of public administration, and congratulations to you on your retirement. Holy cow, what a great thing on your retirement. I look forward to my own here at some point before too long, maybe 10 years, it'd be great. Listen, Kay, 15 years ago I was in your class, and there were two things that I took away that have completely influenced my teaching to this very day. Number one is you not only invited, but made a lot of space for your doctoral students to work and teach in your class. And at the time, to me, that seemed odd. It seemed like, oh, why am I getting taught by these doctoral students when I should be being taught by the professor? Well, we both know that that's a silly thing to think. And that now in all of my classes, all of them, my students have a mini unit that they have to develop and deliver to their colleagues in the class. And I do much more than that, but I want you to know that I feel that inspiration came from you, first and foremost. The second thing, perhaps more importantly, is for our final project for the portfolio, you gave us an enormous amount of space and latitude about what it was we actually wanted to do. And that at the time also seemed very odd to me, especially in the, having been told, the kind of all the tests that we were supposed to take and having very defined subjects and assignments for the final assignment, but you didn't. You allowed us to wander and explore our own strengths and interests, and I have done that ever since with my students, and they love it, and of course they do. And it also makes for much more interesting reading of their papers and final portfolios and projects. Okay, really, again, congratulations. You be well, and thank you so much. I really must say that you, I credit whatever pieces of my teaching that are good, and at least in part, and in some cases, large part, to you. And by the way, I did win last year the Teacher of the Year in our college. So I'm very happy about that. In fact, that's the greatest, that's really the greatest award I've ever been given. Thank you, Kay. You be well.
Oh. Sorry, I was just reading a really good book. The thing I like about Kay the most is that when I get emails from her, I never know whether I'm going to be getting information about some game-changing class that she's teaching that's the most popular thing at Harvard, some cool new feature of teacher education that she's leading, a fantastic symposium that she's leading and people that she's convening in order to push the envelope on something, a list of cool projects that her doctoral students that she's supported that are now coming to fruition, or the email contains incredible pictures from the Yukon or the Himalaya or South America or Central America or some new rad place that she went to that she's exploring with her ample outdoor skills. So I'm always excited to check in on what Kay is doing and can't thank her enough for the incredible trust that she put in me back in the day, the kinds of supports that she gave me to try out new things, and the way that set me up for a continuing career in education and in thinking through problems in teacher education and how best to serve youth, particularly those that are underserved. So Kay, you rock. Keep sending the emails. I hope to see way more of those really cool places that you're going to outdoors, because every time you do, I add new stuff to my bucket list. You rock. Thank you.
Hello, Kay. This is your administrative assistant from 1998 Lebo. It's amazing to me. We worked together for a short time, yet we've been friends for 20 years. I want to salute you on your retirement day and let you know about the element of your personality that I really admire the most, which is how much you encourage others. I see it so much in how you question students in the classroom, probe them to move further. Lots of large and small ways with your friends, including myself. I always appreciate very much how you've encouraged me with writing and with teaching, anything. So I send you a message from the lovely Three Rivers, California. Come out to the Sequoia Park and visit during your retirement. And in your retirement, continue to encourage others, because it's probably one of the greatest blessings you can give to others, and it brings them to their maximum of their potential. So I salute you, young warrior. Many more years of success and love.
Hi, my name is Katie Reiser, and I was a teacher and administrator at a charter school for 10 years. And I just went back and I'm getting a master's degree at Brown in education policy. Hoping to go back and be in a school in leadership for teaching capacity. Kay was the first professor that I had as a Harvard undergraduate who really took an interest in me and the things that I wanted to do after graduation. She, right from the jump, was incredibly serious about teaching and teachers, and validated the fact that I wanted to go into the classroom when I graduated, and helped to shepherd me through the undergraduate teacher education program at Harvard. I think more importantly, she was just available to have conversations and eager to kind of, share in the things that students were excited about. So I took both of her charter school classes over 10 years ago, or both of her education classes over 10 years ago. She was the first person who taught me what a charter school was. And, she connected me with the job that I ended up staying in for 10 years. So that was a really special community, and I wouldn't have wound up there if it wasn't for Kay. Over the years, Kay's also, written recommendations for me and always been willing to have a cup of coffee or a phone call, check in with me about moments of my life. She helped me get connected with teaching English methods here at Harvard in the graduate program, which is a job that I've really been loving as a kind of practitioner and lecturer. And mostly she's just been kind of continuously kind and ever enthusiastic and excited about the world of education. And my favorite thing about Kay, I think, is that she's always going on some adventure. We connected early on about trips to Alaska and whether or not the adventure is an education adventure or an outdoorsy adventure. She's always looking on to the next thing, and that's really inspiring, I think, to the people around her. So thanks for everything, Kay.
And I am sitting in the school that Kay Merseth helped build, as I'm the CEO and founder of the El Paso Leadership Academy, a public charter school that I truly began in Kay Merseth's charter school course back at Harvard. Kay, do you remember when I emailed you to get into your ed reform class super late and I had no idea what your background was and was babbling on about, like, I am from El Paso, I want to start a charter school and you may be able to help me out with that. And your very curt, short message was, Omar, come see me in my office immediately. Signed, Kay Merseth. And then there was the book, Inside Urban Charter Schools, that you wrote. Or how about the fact that you came all the way to El Paso and joined our founding board, and I think had an inordinately high impact on our ability to get chartered, because someone as expert with the expertise and someone with your background backed up our school. And after a ludicrously competitive charter process of 200 people that were interested and only 3 of us got chartered in the state of Texas, I have you to thank for that. I think that my favorite thing about Kay Merseth is her unbelievable love, faith, and belief in educators. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her love and belief in me and everyone else in the education sector that truly allows us to think and believe we can make a difference. And I am proud to say that we have taken students that were in the 2nd and 3rd grade reading level in 6th grade, that is how they came to us, and increased their grade level acumen and lexile scores by 3 to 4 grade levels in 1 year. We have demolished statistics and gotten kids on the college trajectory, and that's all because of Kay. I love you and thank you.
Offered me an opportunity to say a few words. See that you're about to cross the Rubicon, as I did a few years back, and just wanted to wish you well. I've always considered you to be a great friend, and I've loved all our interactions over the years as faculty at Hugsy. You're a tough person, both professionally. You're a softie personally, but my interactions with you have always been decent and honest and frank, and I just think you've done a wonderful job over the years, something that has made the school a better place. If I think briefly back to our many interactions, remember the first time I met you? I was a young assistant professor, just arrived at the school, wet behind the knees, and I think you called me to your office and you were teaching, you had a teacher ed program, and you tried to con me into teaching a course in your teacher ed program. You told me that I was one of the few faculty who'd actually taught in elementary, middle, and high school, and you tried to get me to teach in the teacher ed program, which of course would have been a disaster for me professionally, since I was hired to teach statistics. But it was the start of a long and happy friendship between the two of us. Right from the first moment, I realized how committed you were, how enthusiastic you were, and you were a real teacher. And I think, that both within the school and outside the school, that was what you brought, and it was what brought to the school great respect. I remember some of those evaluations you got for your university courses that were just outstanding. Later, when I was academic dean, I remember another set of interactions that you and I had. You had this penchant for waking up in the middle of the night with some issue in your mind, and before thinking, you'd get on your email and you'd type some voracious email and send it off to Larry Summers or somebody in the central administration, and it'd be the most abusive, frank appraisal of their lack of support for your work or something, and very undiplomatic. But it was from the heart, you did everything from the heart. And I remember you and I talking about that, and I remember Judy Singer and I as academic deans trying to moderate some of these impulses and asking you to think a little before sending off some rip-snorting email to some important codger in the Harvard administration. So you never stopped being who you are. I've no doubt that you're going to have a rich and fulfilling retirement. I follow you on Facebook. I see that you're climbing mountains and kayaking down rivers. I hope you continue to do that. I hope you continue to have great meals and chats and conversations. I wish I was a part of it. I've moved here to the West Coast to be near my grandchildren, and as a result, you and I haven't gotten together for dinner for some time. And I miss that. I hope you have as fulfilling a retirement as I've had, and I hope we meet again. I hope to be able to attract you out here some point to the left-hand coast, paradise as we call it, and I would love to have you come stay with me and visit Santa Cruz. So let's keep in touch. All the best to you. I really love you. You've been a great colleague and a great friend to me, and I will never regret whatever has happened between us, good and bad. Stay well, do good work, and keep in touch. Thanks, Kay, for what you brought to my life. I really appreciate it. Well done.
Hey, Kay, it's Christy. Congratulations on your retirement. That is so exciting. I just wanted to share this fond memory with you. Remember this book, Inside Urban Charter Schools? I learned a lot from you working on this book and on the project that led to this book. And one thing that sticks in my mind is when I came to you with a draft of one of the chapters, and you said to me, "Were you bored when you were writing this?" I said, "Yeah." And you said, "It shows." Thanks for the brutal honesty all the time, Kay. I think I grew a lot from working with you and from being friends with you. Thank you for opening your heart and your home and your farmhouse, and for just being a great role model. So, congratulations on your retirement.
Hello, I'm Mike Fochar, and I am currently the Director of Innovation at Leadership Public Schools in Oakland, California. I am so tremendously grateful for Kay. I know about LPS because of Kay, and I wouldn't have the job or the success I have now without her. Kay is one of the most talented, giving, effective educators I have ever met. I consider myself beyond fortunate to call her a mentor, and if it wasn't for Deborah Garson, the mother of a childhood friend, who said if you do any one thing and you take any one class with someone here while you're getting your master's at Hugsy, make sure you go and meet Kay Merseth. Best advice I ever got. Kay's ability to communicate warmth, faith, and belief in you while simultaneously, unflinchingly telling it like it is unparalleled. If I ever need a straight answer, I know who to go to. I've taken risks, and I've built things and done things that I never thought I would because of her belief. I'm a far better educator and math teacher because of her passion and insight and thoughtfulness. And I feel so lucky to also can know that my network is a partner with the Harvard Teaching Fellowship, a long passion project of hers, because I'm fortunate enough to know and get a chance to collaborate and work with her. So Kay has changed the trajectory of my career and my life. She's inspired me, and because of this, she's changed the trajectory of thousands of students I've had the good fortune to work with, and all the other teachers with whom I connect with and collaborate with on a daily basis. So, Kay, you are a rare one. You are an absolute treasure to me, and I don't know where I'd be without you. And I'm so excited for this next chapter that you're launching into. And I can't think of someone I hold in higher regard as an educator and a mentor in this field. So thank you.
Hi, Kay. As I think about your retirement, the first thing that comes to mind is how much I and others are going to miss you in Appian Way. It has been such a privilege to work with you all these years. I have fond memories of our collaboration helping our colleagues in Brazil create the Education Leadership Development Program at the University of Juiz de Fora. And I've enjoyed our very many joint adventures teaching in executive education in PPE. I have great admiration and respect for your intellectual honesty, your very high standards, your commitment to excellent work, and your no-nonsense attitude about work. I also appreciate and share your understanding that education is only as good as we can help future teachers and our colleagues transform their practice and improve real educational opportunities in schools and other educational institutions. So I'm going to miss you, as I'm sure will many on Appian Way, but I wish you very well on your next adventure, and I very much look forward to staying in touch with you. Bye, Kay. Have a wonderful retirement.
Hi, Kay. This is Jed Lippard, dialing in from the Bank Street College of Education, where I am now the Dean of Children's Programs and the head of the School for Children. I want to congratulate you on this exciting milestone. I know full well that you will be continuing to burn the midnight oil and make great things happen in the next chapter. I recall our first connection was when I was a mentor teacher for Cambridge Harvard Summer Academy many moons ago, and then you took me under your wing as a master's degree student in the school leadership program, and then went to bat for me in the doctoral program at Harvard. And then I had the good fortune of following in your footsteps to teach the charter school course a couple of years ago. And throughout all of those experiences, what strikes me most about you is your generosity of time and wisdom and passion. At 3 a.m, sharing your resources and sending that email. I hope that you'll get some rest and take some time for yourself and know that your legacy is deep and profound. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Whoops, I have a lively dog on my lap. That's because he's eager to be with you, Kay. Of all our adventures together, Easter Island, Guatemala, Patagonia, Switzerland, the best one was actually when we went and got puppies the same summer. And now it is 12 years later, and mine is still small, and yours is very big. Any rate, great to be with you this evening. Lots of love from me and Alfie.
Hi, Kay, it's Sam. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you and celebrate you as we launch you into retirement. I also want to take this opportunity to thank you for several reasons. Currently, I serve as the Chief of Staff at Uncommon Schools. Ironically, prior to coming to Harvard, I was actually anti-charter. In fact, I wrote my entire application about the fact that I didn't believe in charter schools. And when I enrolled in your class on charter schools and read your book, I did so with a great degree of skepticism. However, you changed my mind, clearly. You were one of the only professors, in fact the only professor, that made us leave Harvard's campus and go off into the field and visit practitioners. You made us leave the ivory tower and go visit charter and district schools throughout the city of Boston. During my time in your class, I developed a much more nuanced view about charter and district schools, ultimately realizing that kids in all cities, particularly kids in underserved areas, need great school options regardless of their governance structure, charter or district. And since leaving your class, I've actually dedicated my career to bridging that charter-district divide and ensuring that all kids have great options when it comes to schools. So I want to thank you for providing me with that insight. I also want to thank you because you've always cared about me as a person. When I was in your class, you provided me counsel and have continued to provide me career counsel and support since I've left and graduated. You've seemed genuinely invested and interested in my success, and for that, I want to thank you and say congratulations as we launch you tonight.
My name is Jerry Murphy. I've had the good fortune to have known and worked with Kay Merseth for more than 30 years here at the School of Education. And I think of Kay as a polymath, which the Free Dictionary defines as a person of great and varied learning. Indeed, in the field of education, Kay is an expert on charter schools, teacher education, school administration, and mathematics, to name just a few. And on top of that, as we all know, she's an extraordinary teacher, and in my experience, really makes a wicked casserole. Congratulations, Kay, as you begin the next voyage in your splendid life.
Hi, Kay. I first met you when I came to the teacher education program in 2009, and you have been there for me for every project that I have done since. There are many things I love about you, but I think I would have to say that at the top of the list is that you are determined to die without any social capital left. You are not hoarding it, parceling it out in little minuscule aliquots to sort of the deserving few, but instead you are magnanimously willing to spend it on it all, quickly, willingly, expansively, connecting anyone to anyone, just making sure that every conversation ends with some action item that moves the project along. At a conversation you and I had about a year ago when we were in the sunlight outside Felipe's, I was talking to you about the project I'm working on in Uganda, and we had gotten a chance to talk a little bit about your amazing work. And I remember at the end of the conversation you said to me, aren't we so lucky to get to do the work we do? And I remember just being so struck by your gratitude, your willingness to listen to this new idea, really just your openness in general. I feel like I aspire to be a grateful person, sometimes with success and sometimes with miserable failure, but I would have to say when I think of the things I'm grateful for, you are really at the top of the list. I hope that I've been able to make some difference in the world with some of the projects I've worked on the last couple of years, but I absolutely feel like I could not have done any of those projects without your help. I feel like you are that stone dropped in the pond that kind of sends forth all the ripples out into the world, and I just feel very lucky to have been able to spend some time near that stone and to be one of those tiny ripples. So thank you, Kay. You are the best.
Hi, Kay. Chris Gregg here. As one of the members of the 2001-2002 TAC group, I just wanted to send a little tribute to say thank you for all that you've done for a whole number of us over the years. I think about some of the things that you taught us all the time. You are absolutely foundational in my own learning about education and about how to become a teacher. And in fact, about 2 weeks ago, I had a student in my office who wants to teach grade school math, and she's actually applying to the Teach for America program. And I said, teaching primary school math is hard. And I said, think about this. How would you teach a grade schooler that 1/2 divided by 2/3 equals 3/4? And we talked about that for a while. And of course, that's one of the problems that you gave us during our class on pedagogy many, many years ago. And so as I said, I still think about some of the things you said all the time. I appreciate all that you've done. We are going to miss you in the education world, and I hope you have a great retirement. Thanks.
Hey Kay, it's me, Chris Cleveland. I'm standing outside Larson 106, where we met my sophomore year when I was enrolled in US in the World 35 during its first semester. I'm very glad that I took the class and I had the opportunity to work with you in future years as a course assistant. My relationship with you has always been great. I've appreciated your mentorship and support as I work to complete my undergraduate career, and now as I'm pursuing my PhD back here at the Ed School in Education Policy. I wish you the best on your next adventure, and we'll be in touch.
Hi Kay, it's Monica. I just want to wish you all the best in your next chapter. You may remember, but maybe not. You were one of the first people I talked to about changing gears and coming into education when I was thinking about making the move across the river. And you were fabulous, such a thought partner, somebody who I always felt I could trust as I was thinking through everything. A true case method teacher, asking the right questions, encouraging people to find where they are. So thank you for that. And I hope you have a wonderful time. I look forward to seeing you. I'll be running on the river while you're rowing. So cheers to you. Take care. Bye.
Okay, from Professional Education up here on the 5th floor of Longfellow Hall, we want to say thank you from our team for, over the last 10 years, through your chairing and leadership of programs, taking us from about 2,500 participants to 10,000 last year. You have led, with our team, 12 programs, including
redesigning high schools for improved instruction,
leadership and evolving vision,
differentiating instruction and team teaching in mathematics and literacy,
school turnaround leaders for Pasco County, school turnaround leaders at HGSE,
school turnaround leaders Florida,
implementing strategies and structures to enhance teaching and learning in Qatar Foundation academies,
building leadership capacity for regional directors in Saudi Arabia,
revitalizing teacher education in Saudi Arabia,
Raise Your Hand Texas convenings for Texas principals.
Finally, you are serving as a faculty advisor for the Middle East Professional Learning Initiative.
We are so happy now that you're free to do even more with us, Kay. Thanks for expanding our impact, for holding us to high standards, and for always, always, always saying yes!
Thank you, Kay.
Thanks, Kay!
Kay, hey, I am so sorry I am not there, but I just wanted to let you know what I'm sure everyone is telling you today. What an amazing influence you've been, what an incredible friend, someone who literally housed me in order for me to complete my master's degree. Someone who's been a mentor and a leader in not only the space of education, but in academia across the board, and a true friend, authentically a friend to students. You are an amazing individual. You are one of the greatest influences in my career, and I hope that this day is as special for you as you have been for so many people. Thank you, and I love you, Kay, from Texas.
Hi, so I met Kay in late 2008. I was a mentor teacher for the TEP program, and I was also a mentor teacher at CHSA. Lord knows why, but Kay and some others thought that I would be qualified to be the history methods instructor for that portion of the TEP cohort, and I wasn't too sure about that, but I was like, yeah, sure, let's talk about it. She came visit me at my school, interviewed. Turns out it didn't work out in the end. Wasn't so surprised, but at the same time I was a little disappointed. And Kay, though, was just really just super encouraging anyway. She wrote an email to me, which I still kept to this day, from 2010. She said, "Marcus, please don't think you did something wrong. It was a very hard decision indeed. I spoke to you originally because I think you are nothing less than a magnificent teacher, a fabulous mentor, and a potentially great methods instructor. I'm very confident that there will be other opportunities for you with us on the horizon, so please don't be overly disappointed." Okay. Really nice. I was touched by that, but at the same time, I was like, other opportunities on the horizon. Kind of a little bit skeptical, But shortly thereafter, Kay and some others asked if I'd be interested in teaching race and power in urban classrooms to the TEP cohort. And to be honest, I thought I was even less qualified to teach that course, but I could not say that. So I gave it a shot. Kay gave me a chance. And 8 years later, 8 summers later, I'm still teaching race and power in urban classrooms to the TEP cohort. So thank you, Kay, for giving me that chance. And it was a pleasure. It is a pleasure to know you, and all the best.
Hi, I'm Sarah Wolf. I was at the graduate school from 2004 to 2005, and I took both Kay's school reform course and her charter school course. And I loved them both, and I learned a ton from Kay in the classroom. But I have to say one of the biggest lessons I learned from Kay was out of the classroom. And that's that she taught me, just by living the life the way she does, that life should be about adventure and joy and exploration and stretching oneself. And whether she was rowing or spending weekends driving tractors up at her house in New Hampshire, or hanging out with students and really getting to know all of us and our families, or grabbing her friends and traveling around the world, or giving lectures about school reform all over the world, Kay does everything with a passion and a drive that's so impressive. She has a huge heart, and she's told me to sort of make sure to always sort of take care of me and what I love, and sort of think about how the choices in my life are working for me, and to not compromise those elements. And I find that so valuable and so inspirational. Every time we get together for a drink or a bite, she is always full of wisdom, and her presence is always joyful and inspirational. So I think for me, I look forward to seeing what Kay does next, and watching her travels and her explorations as she continues on her journey. So I don't really buy that this is full retirement, and I can't wait to keep watching.
Hi Kay, happy retirement.
Hi Kay, happy retirement.
Happy retirement. This is Jonas and my son Mosiah, and we are shooting this video in New Orleans, where I continue to serve as the CEO of Leading Educators, a national nonprofit that is focused on fundamentally changing the way districts structure and provide teacher-led professional development and learning. And so Kay, I just want you to know you had a huge role in shaping the way that I have thought about this work and started thinking about this work as I launched my career, and I will be forever grateful for that. I was in your class and became a lot more conscious of the specific values and beliefs that I was bringing into this work. And because of that process, I have definitely been more equipped to understand the evolution of my own thinking, which has been significant. And I am also grateful for the support and friendship that you've shown me really ever since, personally and professionally, including the generosity of having put me up at your home on visits to Cambridge, inviting me to speak to your classes about charter schools and school choice and other things, and providing really the perspective and advice that I've needed at different points in my career as well. You were one of the people that I turned to first when I was deciding whether or not to launch Leading Educators, and it has been an incredible 7-year ride, and your advice and counsel on the front end was really awesome. Thank you for everything, and again, happy retirement!
Happy retirement!
A big thank you, Kay. You've had a profound effect to me and hundreds of us to become better teachers and to reform education. I treasure your thoughtful advice, and it was so nice to see you and Kitty last June. You will forever be my guiding light. With all my gratitude, thank you. Tomo from Tokyo, Japan.
Congratulations on your launch, Kay. I remember the first time I had the opportunity to meet you was during the shopping period in 2007 for A326. And I wandered in the room among hundreds of other people, it felt like. And a woman in the front with no shoes on was explaining to the whole group you said something like, folks, I can't promise this will be the best class at Harvard, but I can promise it'll be the best taught class at Harvard. And Kay, it truly was. I loved it so much that I wanted to come back and be a TA and take the class all over again. And I would do that again in a heartbeat. It has been truly a pleasure to learn from you, to work with you, to have you as a role model. You've really taught the importance beyond the content of education reform work. You have taught the importance of really building relationships with people and what it looks like to hold people to high standards. So in your honor, I promise to continue to always start all of my conference calls with a bad joke. Thank you and congratulations.
Hi Kay, it's Lisa Lineweaver. Just wanted to say thanks. In your course, you helped me find my keel, and finding my keel has helped me serve kids and teachers in Boston and Chelsea Public Schools for the last 16 years. I also remember fondly your final project, because I think that modeled for all of us the magic that can happen when you've taught your learners well and then you trust them to take what you've learned, take what they've learned and put it to good use. I have to say that's actually the first time I ever really understood what a team project and group work was actually supposed to feel like. But I think you always said it best at the end of every term when you would tell each group of students, having once been your student, that we would always be your students. And I think we're ready to take you up on that now, as we have all along, because as you're at this phase of watching and launching off into new adventures, we're watching and we're still learning from you, and hope to continue that as you move off to new adventures. So congratulations.
Okay, it's Evan Ruddle here. Congratulations. I wish I could be there in person. So I arrived at the Ed School in the fall of 1996, knowing that I wanted to start a charter school, but not knowing where to start given how new the movement was. Fortunately, I got to know you and you took me under your wing. You may remember that you included me in that incredibly dynamic Charter Schools Conference that you hosted in the fall of 1996. You introduced me to countless charter leaders across the state and the country. And you invited me to TA your charter schools class in the spring of 1997. I think it was the first time you taught the class, and we had Jay Altman, Mike Goldstein, Emily Lawson, and a number of other amazing folks in the class. And I learned so much from you and from the discussions. I don't think I would have been able to start Roxbury Prep or to lead Uncommon Schools if not for your support and mentorship, and I will be eternally grateful for that. Congratulations again on entering this new phase. It is well earned, and you should know that you've had a profound impact on me and on the lives of so many others. Thank you, and lots of love.
Hi, Kay. Here's my tribute to you, starting with a little history of our friendship and some reminiscences that show how much I love you. It all started 32 years ago when I was presenting at a research conference with Vivian, and it was in Chicago, and I had never done anything like that before, and Vivian and I were clashing. A total of 2 people showed up. One was from some university, and the other was. It was the start of a wonderful friendship. When I arrived at Harvard, there was another professor assigned to me as an advisor, but I made the smart decision to ask for you, one of the best decisions I ever made. As your advisee, I soon discovered that you were daring, straightforward, wise, generous, warm, smart, politically astute, and fun. You were tough, you went dog sledding, you drove a truck. You stood for what you believed in, and even if it made the dean and you cared deeply for all of us, your friends, your students, your family. You make me laugh, you make me happy. You listen long after others would have had enough of my writing. You never fail to ask help. You write emails from Bahrain, Armenia, New Zealand, sharing your amazing experiences, and you always ask me how I'm doing. Imagine that. You're doing such important work and you're sharing your vast knowledge with people around the world, and you still have time to ask how I'm doing. I have one memory that I just wanted to count. Here it is. You know all the other ones, and you know this one too, but I just thought I'd give you one. We were in the mountains in Montana with Norma. and there was this tent, and I was supposed to be able to tie a knot on the tent to make it secure. Well, I didn't know how, and I was just feeling really stupid, and I was on the ground and I was kind of sobbing, and you just came over to me and you took my hands and you made the knot. Was perfect, and I was proud, and you were my friend. And these, the knot, I'm using this as an example, was kind of one of the knots that tied our friendship together. There's lots more things I could say, you know them all. But I just say there's one more thing I wanted to say about how much I love you. You have more to do than anybody I know, and yet you somehow still do it for every single person, students, everyone. So I'm talking to you, you come talk to me in my office, you're the only one who ever does, and then you have to go off because you have to talk to students. It's amazing, Kay. It's just amazing. And the best thing is, for me, that we're going to continue to do these things and have adventures and travel and meet new people and see new things that are adventurous, because you are an adventurer. So I truly have never met anybody like you, Kay, and you are the epitome of it. So if you look it up in Google, a tribute is to honor, praise, and acknowledge goodness. And so we all honor your goodness and all that you do for all of us. It's well deserved. Retirement.
Hi, Kay. Congratulations on your retirement. What a phenomenal career you've had as an educator, a mentor, and most importantly, an inspiration to all of us who've known you. As I was reflecting back upon the 16 years that we've known each other, starting from when I joined the School Leaders Program, to the class that we took together, classes I should say, to the many emails and phone calls over the years when I called to ask for your support or guidance, especially when I was starting my charter school in Chicago, a journey I never would have taken had you not encouraged me and challenged me to stop playing it safe, to the times we've spent together here in Detroit, when you came out to teach workshops and co-teach workshops with me for our leaders and aspiring leaders, inspiring them to recognize the power they had within themselves to make change, and that it was their duty to do so for the benefit of the students that they served. You have an unbelievable ability to bring out confidence and strength in others that they didn't even realize they had. And that's mainly because that's what you role model. Even my bookshelf behind me is filled with books that are written by you or that you recommended at some point. You've had such tremendous impact on my life. When I think back to some of my memorable moments, you were there. Whether everything from my graduation to starting of the school leadership program here in Detroit, to my baby shower, which was a very special event, and I was made even more special by the fact that you were there. I so appreciate our friendship. I so appreciate the fact that no matter when I call or email you, you always have something to offer, something inspirational, something helpful, something motivational, or a resource. You're so brave in all that you do. I so appreciate your boldness, I so appreciate your conviction, and I so appreciate your personality and sense of humor. I'm looking forward to spending more time with you in your retirement, though I think retirement for you is going to mean something very different than it might for others. So in between scaling mountains and sailing around the world, I hope to have some more time with you and to do some more work together. But most importantly, I just am so looking forward to continuing our friendship and relationship. You have been a tremendous impact on my life, and I am so thankful to you. Congratulations on a phenomenal career, and enjoy your retirement.
Hi, Kay. I just wanted to add my voice to the many, many voices that will be present in this video for your launch party. And just to comment on how your body of work, while some of it is in written form, the real body of your work, it lives in the students that you have worked with, the colleagues that you have worked with as well. And that body of work will go on as those colleagues and former students of yours continue to impact many others as they wrestle with the big challenges that face education here in the U.S. and around the world. You've done a fabulous job of bringing a lot of people into the discussion of those complicated issues, and it's with great admiration and respect and love that I want to share this video with you, and I look forward to seeing everyone on the 26th.
Hi Kay, I'm sorry I couldn't be there to celebrate your retirement, but I did want to pass along how much I've enjoyed working with you. It's been a true honor to work with you on the Harvard Teacher Fellows Program, education as a secondary field, and to spend time with your class. I admire an awful lot about you. The thing I admire most is your passion for teaching and the care and concern that you show each and every student. It's not a surprise to me at all that for many Harvard College students, your class is the highlight of their 4 years on campus. And it's because each of them knows that you care not just about the subject matter, which is incredibly important, but you care about their welfare. I think you're proof of the truth in the adage that no one cares what you know until they know that you care. Every student in your class knows that you care about them, and for that reason they care an awful lot about what you know. HCSE is not going to be the same without you. Congratulations on a truly remarkable career, and best of luck.
She guided me through the most meaningful academic experience that I had then and that I've ever had, which was my senior thesis project. And ever since I graduated, she's been a constant mentor. We've checked in and kept in touch over the years. And what's so amazing about Kay is she's so supportive of other people's goals, so full of ideas to help other people achieve their goals. And she's just always so generous with her time, always eager to sit down with you, listen to what's going on in your education career, and give you advice, share wisdom, connect you with people who can help you. I'm just so grateful for all that she's done with me and the way that she's pushed me in my own career trajectory, and I know she's done the same for so many other people.
Hey everybody, and hey especially to Kay. It's John McLaughlin here from Philadelphia. I just wanted to offer my sincere congratulations and best wishes to Kay on the next step. I worked with you as a head TF for US in the World 35, and in our time together, I was continually impressed by everything and inspired by your deadlifts and your work on the river, but most importantly, your commitment to every single student in the classroom and working to make sure that every single student had a chance to succeed, even if that meant chasing down kids in their bedrooms and making sure that they were okay. But I just want to say thanks again for everything that you've done for me and for all of us, and really want to wish you well on this next phase. Take care, and congratulations, Kay.
Kay Merseth. From the moment I arrived at Hugsy, you welcomed me into your world and made me feel at home. And in short, you were unequivocally my person. You were so very knowable, and you made me feel known. You believed in me, and as a result, brought out the best in me. In easy times and in hard, you were a breath of fresh air whenever I needed one. Kay, you trusted me with everything. 15 semesters of your classes in a high-profile summer school program are no easy thing to put faith in someone else for. But your faith in me allowed me to step into and to develop an identity in my time at Hugsy, and I'm forever grateful for that. And through it all, I think we did some pretty good work together. You were my advisor, and even when you weren't, you were my champion, my advocate, my shoulder, my editor, and my reality check. Kay, I'd like to send a heartfelt thank you for your tireless advocacy for my needs, the protection of my interests, and the boundless encouragement you provided and enthusiasm that sustained me while I was at Hugsy and have lived with me every day since. Congratulations, Kay, on all you have brought to this world to share with me and countless others, and I look forward to making new memories with you in the years to come and hearing of your many endless adventures you are launching off to begin today. With much love and gratitude, thank you.
It was a great privilege to be part of Kay's household for a couple of years after college, after I graduated from college. And I just had a great time with Andrew and Catherine when they were young, singing songs to Catherine and playing catch with Andrew. It was a great time. I want to tell a little story about going up to the house in Maine one time. It was just before bedtime. There was a bat flying around the house, and it was really freaking Kay out. She was very scared of this bat, and she was ready to go after it with a broom and just kill the little thing. And so I wasn't afraid of the bat, and I was thinking about how we could manage to take care of this problem without the mess maybe and the difficulty of corralling this little critter into a spot where we could actually kill it. And so I thought, well, the bats don't like light, so why don't we turn on all the lights and open the front door, and maybe it'll find the doorway out into the dark. So we did that, and the bat was safe, and I felt so great for having rescued Kay from the terror of this bat attack. But also, I think for maybe the only time I was ever with Kay, I could feel like the smartest person in the room. So the most important thing about my relationship with Kay is that I came from a very chaotic household and childhood. And in her home, I saw such a wonderful model for parenting. So I would say that my wonderful son, who's a Berkeley graduate, is really the best tribute to Kay that I could offer, because without her example, I don't know that I would have been the parent that would have made that possible. Thank you, Kay.
Dr. Merseth, congratulations and thank you. I want to start off by saying thank you for everything you've done to push me to try new things, and all the support and encouragement that you have shown me along the way. I think back to 10 years ago when we were sitting in my classroom at Excel High School, and you came to ask me if I was interested in teaching the methods course for the teacher education program. And I'm pretty sure that I tried a few different ways to say no, that I didn't think I was ready. But as the story goes, I was signed up to teach methods in the fall. So that story just represents so many things that you mean to me and who you are as a person. Your drive, foresight, passion, and dedication really inspire many. You are truly an innovator that pushes people to strive for excellence. I've learned two things. That one, when Dr. Merseth is in your corner, truly anything is possible. And two, if Dr. Merseth gives you advice, you best implement as soon as possible. So, Kay, again, congratulations. Thank you so much for everything you've done for education, the Harvard Teacher Fellows Program, your leadership in TEP. Truly, we are able to see so far because of the shoulders of giants that we stand on. Good luck.
Hi, Kay. It's Molly Shen. I'm so excited about this new launch of yours into a whole new chapter, which I'm sure will be full of adventure. At this stage, I want to thank you for being a friend, most of all. I've been your student, I was your teaching fellow, I was your doctoral advisee, and you were extraordinary in every role, of teaching me a lot, of asking my advice when I was your teaching fellow, and those were extraordinary moments I had teaching in your class. And I thank you for counting me as a colleague and bringing me with you.
Hi, Kay. Feel so lucky to be able to wish you well as you embark on your new adventure. I want to thank you for being the very first person to speak to me about working at Harvard Graduate School of Education. It was many years ago, and I never expected that I would actually work with you. I have learned so much from you. I'm grateful for your extraordinary teaching, all the PPE programs that we worked on together, and your outstanding support. You've been a magnificent colleague, and I look forward to many, many more years of working with you. Congratulations. Thanks, Kay.
Hi, Kay. It's Michael Sadowski. I have a story I'm going to share when I see you in person, but right now I'm just going to say thank you for inspiring me as a teacher and as a teacher educator, and have a great launch. Congratulations.
I wanted to share my favorite memory of Kay Merseth, or at least her favorite quotes. My name is Heather Harding, and I'm currently a senior program officer at the Gates Foundation. And I've had a lot of different jobs over the time, from leaving Kay, a very special advisor during my doctoral studies, and as a master's student. But the things that I carry with me, I bet a lot of people will reference. The first is that sometimes your knowledge is just an inch deep, but a mile thick. And being a generalist and knowing a lot about a lot of things can be really helpful in creating perspective. I've taken that in every job that I've had, and I think that it really adds value to the work. And then secondly, in Kate's school reform class, she was so masterful at helping us understand the tensions between dilemmas, and that dilemmas aren't things that you fix, they are conflicts that you manage, and they are competing values. And that comes up so much in our work in education, because it's a heavy people business, and relationships and culture and values are key. And then I would say all the time, whenever I'm frustrated or can't figure out what to do next, I try to write a little bit of a brief about what the purpose of schooling is, the purpose of education, because it brings me back to my own sense of values and core beliefs. And I have Kay Merseth to thank for that. There's no doubt. You were a wonderful advocate for me. You were great about ensuring that I had all the resources I needed to complete the program. And I'm so happy that you are being celebrated this way, and that you get some time off to do more of that travel and spend time in the snow, in your house, and with your dog. I love you. Bye.
When I first got here to HGSC, I quickly realized how much I missed teaching. So getting to work with you and be part of the USW 35 teaching team made a huge difference and really meant a lot to me. I really admire your devotion to your students and your incredible energy. And just thank you so much for that opportunity and for all of the support you've given me over these years.
Congratulations to you, Kay, on your retirement. I'm very, very thankful to have had the opportunity to study with you for the full year. When I returned to Maine, I advocated for charter schools here, which we have now. And I hope that we see each other soon. Thank you again so much, and I'm very, very happy for you. Bye.
Hi Kay, it's Yvonne. Congratulations on your well-earned retirement. I hope you'd be proud to know that I'm sitting at the New York City Department of Education on a Friday night, thinking of you and your class, and of course, fighting the good fight for equity and excellence. Congratulations again.
So who are you, Harvard? What are you all about? I'm here tonight to try to convince you of something.
Who are you, Kay Merseth? What are you all about? We're here to convince you of something.
We want you to consider retirement as a short-term endeavor. You don't have to retire forever. In fact, we don't want you to retire at all. Why do we want you to reconsider retirement? Because you've touched so many lives, ours included, that if you must retire...
This is our big idea. The Merseth Retirement Fellowship. You can join, but you don't have to. You learn about retirement when you're retired. Is this a life sentence? Absolutely not. You can always go back into teaching.
Everyone in the room has been affected by you, as have those from far and wide who've sent video greetings.
We, like everyone tonight, love and respect you. Is there anyone who will take a stand for Kay as one of the world's best teachers?
Anyone? Anyone?
Anyone?
Hello, everybody. Just sending a big congratulations to Kay Merseth from Mike Johnson. I'm out here in Colorado. I'm in the midst of running for governor here on the campaign trail, about to head inside to an event. But obviously just wanted to send a huge thank you to Kay, who had a transformational impact on my life, both inspired me to get into being a school principal, inspired me to think about how you could both be a practitioner and a policymaker at the same time, and how we could try to bridge that disconnect to solve what she calls the real dilemmas, which are what we face in education. Not how you solve the easy problems, but how you solve the biggest ones that have competing values on both sides. We're trying to do that here in Colorado and see if we can't build a little example for the rest of the country to show that Kay has lighted the path for us all to build a slightly better world. I love you, Kay. Can't wait to come out and see you at a hug and give you a hug and come visit your next class. Take care.
Catherine Ellen Clippert Merseth. We first met in 1960 when we were newborns. No, actually we were in the 10th grade and part of a very small class of girls at a private day school called Old Trail School in Akron, Ohio. Do you know what this is? Yep, it's a Quonset hut. Our gym was in there. From the time I met her, as you can imagine, Kay was impressive. Smart, really smart. Athletic, really athletic. Fun. She was also seriously motivated. She lived in a log cabin in the woods, out in Peninsula, a ways from Akron, with her dad, her housekeeper, and German shepherds. Pretty exotic. Her dad had traveled out of the country with his work for Goodyear, and her whole life seemed like a different world in some ways. Here's a picture of Kay and her dad at the Old Trail School father-daughter banquet. The Kay I met in 1960 spelled her name K-E. As you can see from her senior page in our yearbook, her name was Catherine Ellen, which, when only the initials are used, spells K-E. Always pronounced K, but distinctive. I think she got tired of spelling her name for people, and I've adjusted, sort of. We both left Ohio pretty much for good after high school. Well, we did spend some time there during summer vacations, and we saw each other then if Kay was not in Honduras or somewhere else getting to know the world better and close up. We both went to college in upstate New York, and we visited, and we actually wrote letters. After graduation, I got married and moved to Bloomington, and Kay moved to Boston. We managed to stay in touch. Kay is one of the most motivated people I have ever known. She has always strived for excellence, and it's been and continues to be intimidating at times. She's still climbing mountains and revising her thinking about what's important. She never settled into a set view of the world or set limitations on herself. I know you know, as I know, she's amazing. How has Kay changed my life? The summer after we moved to Boston in 1985, she hired me to work on a project she was leading, the Regional Math Network. I got to sit in an office in Gutman and draw pictures for the math teaching materials teachers from the Boston area were writing for middle school students. This project was one of many, many innovative and important grants and projects Kay got funded, which furthered math education, teacher education, and I'm sure the lives of many students and other educators. Another innovation with that project, Kay brought in students from the college to do desktop publishing of the materials. Oh, PageMaker, how you frustrated us at times. The culmination of the project was a one-day statewide conference with an important speaker, workshops about the lessons in the materials, and distribution of the books. Here's one of them. The Math Space Mission. As I recall, it was April 29th, right about this time of year. It snowed. It was a bit scary having a friend as a boss, but it worked far better than I could ever have imagined. With her encouragement, I went to work for the Alumni Bulletin so I could work part-time for my EDM. Without Kay, I never would have found my way up to Harvard, gotten a master's degree, and taken my first trip to California on business. There's much more to say about the most passionate evangelist for education I can imagine, and for the value of a decades-long friendship, and others paying tribute will, I'm sure, say some of it. Thank you, Kay. I love you.
I think my favorite thing about Kay Merseth is how she models being a reflective practitioner. It was such a joy to be a teaching fellow in USW 35 and to get to see behind the curtain about how the magic happens in a course that so many undergraduates rave about. Immediately after teaching with Kay, I got a job as an adjunct faculty member at Bunker Hill, and someday I hope to open the eyes of more undergraduates to the world of education in the way that I know Kay has done for thousands of students.
Hi, Kay. I've got a couple mementos here of our time together to help get me through this. The first is the reading packet from A326 to date both you and me. And I just had so much fun working with you on that course and TFing for you. The second is this sash that you made for Dina upon my graduation. And I can still picture you up late at night hand sewing that together so that it would be ready for her the next day, because I'm sure you were doing it the night before it was due. And the last is this bamboo that you gave me after I graduated and started working with you on the Hilt Project. And Kay, you are the reason that I came to Harvard. Working with you at Harvard was the highlight of my time there. And I'm sure you're the reason that I graduated, because not graduating just wasn't on the menu option for you. And you're absolutely the best thing that I got out of having been at Harvard in my friendship with you. And you have become a friend who is part of my family. And you've been there through all the big moments, through Adina's birth, through my graduation, through my mother's illness, and not just been there, but you've really been a friend and family through everything. And, you know, people used to say about my mom that she had the gift of friendship. And, well, I think you give her a run for her money. And I've been lucky enough to be on the receiving end from both of you, two wonderful role models and loving women. And I've just been so blessed to have you in my life. And you've changed so many lives, including my life, through your work, your passion, your humanity, your honesty, a little irreverence. It's just wonderful, and just simply who you are. So thank you, Kay, for being in my life, for being part of my family. Congratulations on your retirement. Here's to all of the lives still to touch and the doors still to open. And we love you, Kay.
Hi, Kay. It's Shirley here. Congratulations on your launch. Excited and honored to be able to share just a few words with you about the impact that you've had on my career and in my experience at Harvard. First is from June 2015, when I arrived to Harvard for the first time ever to join you in the School Turnaround Leaders Institute. That week-long experience provided me not just with tangible tools to take back to the principals I was supporting, but also with different framing for me to think about my own leadership ability and development, and ultimately propelled me to apply to the EDLD program. A year later, after some of my colleagues had mentioned that they were TFs for your class, USW 35, I figured that would be another great experience, to get to know you more, but also to get to experience what I love doing, which is to teach, to facilitate learning, to engage with students in ways that I don't get to do anymore. So I'm grateful for that experience, and being your TF was also a great learning experience for me, because I really saw, just how open you were to receiving feedback, to really maintaining a high standard, for the papers that our students wrote, and ultimately knowing that education shapes everyone, and no matter what field our students were going into, USW 35 was definitely a pivotal course for all of them, as it provided them another lens to continue to look through as they go on throughout their career, regardless where they end up. So, Kay, congratulations. What an amazing experience this must be for you, and I can't wait to share in this moment.
I'm so excited and honored to be able to participate in this tribute to Kay. I spent some time thinking this week about how long it's been since I actually first met Kay, and realized that it's with some horror that it's been 20 years, which is astonishing because I think both Kay and I are the same age as we were when we first met. To say that I've learned a lot from Kay would be the understatement of the century. Kay, I have learned so much from you. You have influenced my life and work in so many ways, and really not a day goes by that I don't think of you. There are tons and tons of things I could point to, but I thought I'd enumerate a couple of the things that I've learned from the great Kay Merseth. The first, be direct, be honest, be practical. My favorite Kay line is, the best dissertation is a done dissertation, and I bet it's one that many of us have heard. But I took it as, get off your butt and just get this done, and it worked. Second thing, have fun. Through everything I worked on with Kay, whether it be TFing her courses or working on my dissertation committee or taking a class with her, I learned that you can laugh and get work done at the same time. Kay exudes a sense of joy that is so wonderful and has really had such a profound impact on me. 3, be gracious. When Kay won the Morningstar Award for teaching, she did not spend the money she earned from that award on herself. Instead, she invited her teaching fellows out for really the most incredible dinner at Rialto, and wine and great food. It was the best thing any of us had eaten in weeks, probably months, given that we were all living off of grad school stipends at the time. But it showed such a sense of graciousness to share that award with others. And finally, I think the most important thing I've learned from Kay is that good teachers care. I could point to zillions of things she did over my time with her as a student and ways that she showed care for me. What I think about more recently, however, is the way that she's shown care for the students who are my students whom I've sent on to her, students of mine who've gone on to Harvard. And I remember one student in particular, he had just lost his mom, and I reached out to Kay to say, hey, keep an eye out for this kid. I'm a little concerned about him. And she not only remembered that, but reached out to me after she had met him. I mean, among all the first-year students at Harvard, she was able to meet and make a connection with this student. So impressive. Kay, congratulations on your launch. As one of the many students who has been lucky enough to learn from you, I am so excited for this opportunity to honor you, and I can't wait to hear about what you're going to do next. And if you ever want to come back and teach math, I've got a good spot for you. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Mitchie. I'm a third-year EDLD student finishing my residency in Hong Kong. And one of my favorite things about Kay, there are so many things that I love, but one of my favorite things is her incredibly people-centric way of approaching all of her work, everything she does. I worked with her as both a TF and in writing case study, and she managed to turn a program full of hundreds of undergrads and a big TF team into a family. And I had rarely in my life seen a professor who can just make everyone in the room feel so seen and so valued. And she does that if you're working with her in kind of a big setting or a small setting one-on-one. I've seen her engage this way with people through interviews, and watching her speak with former students, it's just clear that she's made as much of an impact on other people's lives as she's made on mine personally. It's a real honor to have her as a mentor. And this year, after I graduate, when I go into my first principal job, I think it's really going to be Kay that I have in mind when I think about how you create a community around whatever your mission is, and how you inspire people to really feel like they can do whatever it is they want to do, and that they're going to have your support in doing it. Because I've always felt that way having Kay in my corner. So thank you so much for everything, Kay, and congratulations.
Hey Kay, this is Mark Hecker, School Leadership Program, class of 2009. I am now the executive director of an organization called Reach Incorporated, which you already know because you've been a wonderful supporter of our work for a number of years. I still often feel very rooted in the work that I did in your class, and the understanding that I developed and the thinking I did about what truly matters in education. I know that the kids I work with are not just test scores. I'm trying to work to cultivate their talents and get them excited about their strengths to develop a whole person that can be a leader and a role model in the community. And a lot of that thinking started back in 326. I'm appreciative of all the support you lent then, the ways that you felt that my dual background in social work and education were both valuable and added unique things to our classroom conversations, and in many ways made me feel like I had something important to say. So I'm very thankful for the teacher you were and the ways that you continue to inspire what I do today, which has allowed hundreds of DC kids to experience the positive things that came from the creation of Reach. So thank you, and I'm excited to continue following your travels and see what you do as you step back from dad school, but know what an amazing legacy you left for so many of the students that have had the honor of being in your class. So thank you.
Okay. Catherine and Lucas wanted you to join them for story time. Can you guys say hi to Kay?
Hi, Kay. Hi, Kay. Hi, Kay.
This is our new book, Ode to Kay, and you're on the cover. Here we go. Favorite teacher, professor of the year, we hear your retirement is drawing near. Before you leave, before you go, we want to tell you we love you so. You push us hard, help see us through the path in education we want to pursue. Certification, master's degrees, teaching fellows and PhDs. To top it all, because of your pleas, we have education secondaries. Innovations and progress you like to make, there is so very much at stake. You don't give up, you keep on trying. You accomplish your goals by getting buy-in. You teach with love, you teach with passion. And now at the college, education's in fashion. You care for us, you let us know that we are capable, have places to go. You celebrate our successes, empathize with our falls. You support our efforts with emails and calls. There she is teaching. Math and teacher ed are your favorites. School reform and charters too. Research, writing, and consulting are all areas you love to pursue. This is her book on math, teaching math, and urban charter schools, inside urban charter schools. That's her other book. Along the way, you have been a juggler, and as you are also Andrew and Catherine's devoted mother. There's Catherine, right there, like you. So many women look to you as inspiration for a career and motherhood too. We watch you travel and we all admire your ability to hike and climb high and higher. You post us notes from far New Zealand and share it with us how you are feeling. There she is in New Zealand. Broken bones be damned, you've had some falls. Back up again you go, jumping over new walls. Look, that's her broken, that's her foot and the cast.
So she jumped over a new wall and then...
Yeah, maybe she fell, and then this is her cast and this is her shoulder. She hurt her shoulder. But she's still working. Look at that. She's at her desk. Your presence will be missed in Appian way. Maybe we can beg you to please just stay? What's that? What's that you say? Okay, we get it. You want time to play. You've worked so hard day and night. More work has always been in sight. Now it's time for you to rest, knowing you have been the best teacher there is and mentor too. It's no small accomplishment what you did do. We hope you are proud, as we truly are, of the great impact you've made, both near and far. Get on that tractor, go for a ride. Let it take you to another side of life after Harvard and all you can do. In your next chapter, the world's waiting for you. Okay, that's all. It's time to end. No more poetry, no more. Amen. There's her tractor, and there's her doggy at the end. Look, there's her doggy.
Let's see it.
Can you say goodnight, Kay?
Good night, Kay.
Good night, Kay.
Good night, Kay.
She's over there. Go.
Good night, Kay. Good night, Kay. Good night, Kay. Good night.
Hi, Kay. This message comes from Carol, your dear friend, Harvard colleague, and Maine neighbor. Congratulations on so many important contributions for children, emerging teachers, your own children, the world around you. I'm sure there will be many more in the future. I look forward to long hikes this summer in Maine and some cozy dinners on the screen porch. Bye.
Kay, your passion for education has had so much impact on so many of us.
Hey, Kay. Well, 40 years later, I never would have applied to the Department of Human Development if it wasn't for you. I had been one of the founders during Vietnam of the psych unit at the Cambridge City Hospital. Most all of us burned out. In my burnout, I pursued a career in art, went back to Wellesley College. Then after that was all said and done, I was at a crossroads, didn't really know what to do. You and I had small kids then. It wasn't easy, but you were right there, trying to help me figure out how I could bring these 2 or 3 passions together. By the time I got through the ed school, I really had learned how to be a decent researcher. I became the first director of the American Adoption Congress. And then following that, I had the opportunity to pursue my love of art again and to have another 20-year career. When I think of you, Kay, the educator, I think of young people and I think of how you've touched them with your love of teaching and your understanding of what's missing in teaching today and what's missing in the valuing of our teachers. When I think of you, my old friend, I think of resiliency and I think of loyalty. So here's to you, and here's to whatever your next adventure is going to be, but particularly many more years of waking up the entire world to the importance of teaching our young people. Now I know, Kay, this is a retirement party, but I also know you very well. You're perfectly capable of getting in a boat, probably a single scull, taking yourself down the river to Logan Airport and going on another adventure, whether the adventure is a Kay adventure or if it is a teaching adventure. It will be fabulous. Ciao.
Kay, I'm so disappointed that I can't be there tonight to celebrate your retirement with you. I think the metaphor of the launch is especially apt for you, though I had to giggle to realize that you had essentially preempted this send-off event by scheduling 4 international trips for yourself this spring. That's the way to approach retirement, I think. Good for you. It's over 50 years since you and I met as students in the Harvard MAT program, both daughters of teachers from Ohio. We were intent on becoming teachers ourselves, you in math and I in English. We taught for a number of years in area high schools. We were on different but similar paths. And eventually our paths brought us both back to the ed school for our doctorates, and then eventually for our work as members of the faculty at the ed school. You've made important contributions to education, to the university, and certainly to the Harvard Graduate School of Education. You single-handedly, with Pat Graham's encouragement, rebuilt teacher education at Harvard, and essentially have continued to be a strong proponent and teacher and leader in that program ever since. You focused as well on school improvement,
teaching a very popular course in school reform where students thought year after year about the purpose of schooling. Your recent course with undergraduates has been a terrific success, and the college's recent decision to accept education as a secondary field for students is evidence of your strong commitment to teachers, to education, and also your determination that this will not be lost at Harvard. Throughout these and other ventures, you've been collegial, creative, and determined. With all these accomplishments behind you, I hope you'll enjoy the freedom that the years ahead will bring you. I wish you well.
Hi, my name's Lynn Miller, and I'm recently retired from the University of Southern Maine, where I was a professor of education. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to say hats off to Kay for a very distinguished career, even more for a very wonderful friendship. Kay and I met in 1970. We were both leading a group for the Experiment International event. While our 14-year-old charges were studiously learning Spanish, she and I sat by the pool, drank cerveza, and talked about our lives. We've been doing that ever since. Kay, I'm so honored to have you as a friend and as a colleague, and I'm so glad that people are recognizing the wonderful work you've done in promoting the education profession to the next generation of educators. And I want you to know that I still have locked away the photo of you and me in bikinis sitting by the pool in Wachtapek. And I will keep it hidden forever, so rest assured I will not show it in this video. Take care.
Hi, Kay. It's hard to believe, but we've known each other for 17 years. The adventure begins in 2001 in January, the start of my second semester as a doctoral student at Hugsy. I saw a flyer looking for a dog walker, and I was so comfortable from that first meeting with you and Sadie that Sadie and I had many adventures until I tired her out after each walk. It's funny because I never actually took a class with you while I was at Harvard, but I did see one of your speeches. The clearest and most interesting explanation of division math I've ever seen. That was also the first time I saw you in fancy grown-up clothes like these, because we mostly interacted off hours, hiking, and you taught me to find my way in the mountains, and you also taught me to drive a tractor. Here's evidence. Even after I graduated Harvard and went off to Stanford, MIT, and now Clark, I'm grateful we stayed in touch. I particularly remember a time I was staying with you and both of us were up at midnight doing lesson planning. Your home is my home away from home. Ben and I having the privilege of taking care of Queen Sophie over the years and Mistress Nellie more recently, while you are reforming education all over the world. I particularly enjoy when Sophie shows her math genius, perhaps taking after you. When playing with the treat ball, I have noticed that in Sophie's world, 1 + 1, and after a time, +1 more please, equals still not over the limit of 2 balls. And how even during glam shots of us on our walk in the snow, Sophie notices the perfect stick nearby. So from Sophie and from me, congratulations, Kay, on your semi-retirement and your new life unleashed. May your next adventures be as great as your last ones.
Dearest Kay, what a grand occasion, and I'm so very happy for you. You have been a guiding light for me since I was a doctoral student, and you allowed my family and me to use your home when I graduated in 1995. When I returned to campus, I found no closer or dearer friend than you. I am so proud of the work that we've done together, whether it were for PPE or traveling the world to Qatar and other far-flung places. In each of these locations, you've made a wonderful difference, as you will continue to do in the next part of your life's journey. Sending you love and well wishes in whatever you do and wherever you go. I am forever your friend.
My name is Mike Herring. I serve as the Executive Director for Educator Effectiveness at the Chicago Public Schools. That means that I have responsibility for continuously improving teacher evaluation and professional learning through our evaluation system for about 20,000 teachers at about 520 schools. I was a student of Professor Merseth's back in the 2008-2009 year, and I have two distinct memories that I want to share. The first is during the last class at the end of 326, her school reform class. I remember as we got to the end of the session and as we had done our purpose papers and done our final papers, there was a certain building of emotion and appreciation for her teaching and for the conversations that had happened during the class. And as we got down to the end of the very last class, Kay ended the session with something to the effect of that the idea that I believe in you, I'll support you, and that you're capable of great things. I don't remember the exact words that she used, but that sentiment really meant a lot to me and resonated with me. That after she had exposed us to all of these texts and opportunities and discussions and projects, the final message was that she believed in us, that she knew that we could do it, and that she was happy to help us in any way as we had come through her class. A second memory that really stands out from my time with her was during the second semester of my graduate program. She contacted me and asked if I was interested in working with her team to write and develop a case based on my teaching. I had been a high school English teacher before coming to Hugsy to study to be a principal. And over the course of a couple of weeks, I met with her team and shared some of my story from teaching high school English in a low-income community in California. And the fact that Kay recognized that there was a good story there and was willing to allow her team to take time to develop that story, we ended up writing the case. And it was used that summer as administrators from around the country came to Harvard for their Summer Institute. Kay invited me to come to the session and to share a little bit of my reflection. After hearing the group workshop the case and discussing together how my teaching and how things that happened in California in my classroom could potentially provide information for them or could help inform their work across the country. So as I had just graduated, and this was the summer as I was leaving Cambridge to go and become the principal at a charter school, there was just a tremendous sense of appreciation and confidence that experience gave to me. It was a true gift to think that a Harvard professor thought that my experience was worthy enough to document and to use with other people. So Kay, I'm so happy for you in retirement and look forward to all of the wonderful things that you have ahead of you. I truly would not be where I am today without the incredible care and thoughtfulness and willingness to be a thought partner that you've exhibited at many turns for me in my career. So all the best to you, and I hope to see you soon. Thanks.
Kay, it's Sherry Dickstein Staub. I just want to let you know that I wish you all the best in this next chapter of your life. I am so excited for you, and there's no one that I think deserves this more and deserves to start enjoying herself without abandon than you. You are so dedicated to your work and to your students. It's unbelievable how beautiful and special you are. And I just want to say, when thinking about the question, what kind of influence did you have on my life? What do you mean to me? I mean, in so many ways you mean everything to me, because I don't think I would have ever been where I am without you. I don't think I would have finished my doctoral work and graduated from Hugsy without you. You were my thought partner, my mentor, my advocate, my friend, my advisor, You were the woman who pushed me to push my committee. You helped me get things done. And for that, I'm so grateful. And we hadn't talked in a while, and I reached out to you last year for a favor, and without even thinking twice, you came to my side and recommended me for something wonderful. And I can't thank you enough for being the special person that you are, and for teaching me so much about how to be an incredible teacher educator, a researcher, and a lifelong learner. So thank you, and that's it.
So about 12 years ago, the Mid-Career Math and Science program caught my eye online, but it was a single conversation with Kay in her office on a rainy October afternoon as part of an orientation program that made all the difference. In that conversation, her passion, her enthusiasm, and just her connection with me really gave me the nudge that I needed to make the best decision of my life, which was to leave my previous career and follow my heart into education. And then being in the program, her advising again made all the difference. I was feeling a little bit like a fish out of water. I was older than my classmates, and my experience gave me a little bit of a different perspective than most in my classes. And a conversation with Kay, again, she told me that the education space needed all voices, and she really encouraged me to keep raising my hand and voicing my opinion, however different it could have been. And I did that, and it's incredible how many times since then, in the last 10 years, I've actually gone back to Kay's advice. It's almost like I have Kay's voice in my head, making it okay to raise my hand and have a different perspective. And what's incredible is that I felt like I was Kay's only student. She made me feel that way. She got me, and she gave me the guidance and support that was just right for me and what I needed at that time. And what's funny about this experience now is that I'm finding out that there's thousands of us out there, which is absolutely no surprise. So thank you, Kay, for your life-changing support and guidance for myself, and for guiding and supporting so many other educators, and for your lasting impact in education. Thank you.
Hi, Kay. Congratulations on your retirement. I'm so sorry I can't be there in person. I wanted to thank you in this video for 3 different things. 1, for being a leader and mentor for me throughout my doctoral experience. 2, for giving me and many other students the opportunity to appreciate the joys of teaching undergraduates about educational excellence and equity, and allowing for us to really shape the course in substantive ways. I didn't realize how much I loved teaching at the college level until your class. But most importantly, I wanted to thank you for providing me with a model of what teaching at the undergraduate level can look like. I will never forget your ability to inspire and energize students, and I have no doubt that you will see the impact of your teaching on those hundreds, if not thousands of students on the field of education for years and years to come. Thank you.
Hey, this is Matt Welch. I'm a senior researcher with AIR. I was a master's student at Hugsy, which is where I met Kay. The thing that really meant the most to me about my relationship with Kay was the genuine interest that she took in me and the other students as people. Made us really believe in ourselves and the purposes that we were pursuing. Those kind of things and those kind of personal relationships are what made my time at Hugsy so special. Kay, thank you so much for that, and congratulations on your retirement.
Kay Merseth made Alma Del Mar and the work that we're doing in New Bedford possible. I took Kay's class on charter schools in 2010, and she introduced me to many of my mentors and future colleagues and the luminaries in the field, and taught us to look at charter school models and policy from every angle. But my favorite thing about Kay is that she taught us that you can have a professional and deep conversation about the work while being barefoot. So thank you, Kay.
Hi, Kay. It's hard to know what to say to someone who's had as large of an influence on their life as you've had on mine. I also know that your work and your influence isn't going to stop as you retire. This is more about you entering a different phase and giving us the opportunity to celebrate you and to thank you. I am so grateful to you for so many things, and here are 7 of the ones that I appreciate most. Number 1 is the difference between advising and mentoring. I remember you explaining to me that there are advisors in your life and then there are mentors, and it's really important to know the difference. I've been so lucky that you've been a mentor to me throughout graduate school and now well beyond that. Number 2 is birthday pancakes. You've also been my home away from home, and that hasn't changed much since graduation. You made me blueberry pancakes on my 30th birthday. You found me a cat to adopt. You gave me somewhere to go when I needed to get away. I'm not sure where I'd be without that, so thank you. Number 3, what it means to be a teacher. As I look at my own classroom now, I can see your indelible mark. My students write purpose papers. We wade through thorny educational dilemmas, which I remind them, my students, that they'll never be solved, they'll just be satisfied. We read Pat Graham and David Cohen and Lisa Delpit and all the other authors that I read with you. And occasionally I'll open my mouth in the classroom and some sort of K-ism will pop out, usually the one about parents only having a 3rd grader once. I wade into the tricky questions and challenging issues in my classroom, and that's because I learned that from you. Number 4, how to finish something. I remember when we were in the final chapters of the charter school book. We cranked out the final draft at your farmhouse, all of us in a different room with the doors shut. And I learned from you that sometimes it's just time to finish something. You just got to go into your room, put your head down, and get it done. Number 5 is passion. You bring all of yourself into your classroom, and you show your students your passion, whether it's for them, for schools, or for educational equity. I learned how to bring that kind of fire and generosity into the classroom too, and I'm so grateful for that, and I think my students are as well. Number 6, how to mow the lawn, and I love it. My first mowing experience was on your tractor up in Maine, and now I have my own lawnmower in Maine, and I love mowing the lawn just as much as you do. And number 7, this guy. You also gave me him, and I thank you for that too. Kay, you give so fully of yourself to those around you, and we learn how to be more engaged and more thoughtful and more connected and more generous because of you. Thank you. I'm so excited for what comes next for you, Kay.
Congratulations, Kay. Congratulations as you go to that next chapter of your life. But I just have to say thank you. You have been a wonderful partner in crime as we've pushed forward the education secondary. But even more than that, your dedication to improving education, your perseverance, your honesty are things that I've always appreciated so much. And I remember a moment in time when you looked me in the eye and said, "Are we going to do this?" And I said yes. And I knew that together there were many things that we could do together to improve things for our students, for our community. And so thank you for all that you have given.
Dr. Kay Merseth, it's an absolute honor and privilege to get to count myself among the many thousands of people who consider you a mentor, a friend, and see the decades of work that you've done to ensure that issues of education, justice, and equity live on, not just at Harvard, but well beyond, all over the world. Your impact is felt. I can't thank you enough, and I can't tell you what it means to be part of your legacy, to get to work every day to ensure that there's an expert, committed, loving teacher in front of every child in our country. And it's just wonderful to get to pay you tribute. So since you're such an expansive thinker, trust, we know that the road is long, but we'll continue on it. Thank you so much for everything that you do.
Hi, Kay. We're so excited about your next chapter in life. Just want to appreciate you for a second though. Let's think about what you did for us professionally. First, well, let's look back. Like, you brought the case study method to Harvard, practical implementation based in the reality of schools. I'd say that was highly helpful to the Graduate School of Education.
And to us.
And us.
And on a personal note, we love how you open up your life and you shared Maine with us. We will have so many memories of chopping wood, sliding across the ice pond, running around in your yard. And that was both for us and a number of our friends. We became closer through that experience in Maine, and we love you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah. It's also just who you are. I mean, you know, the personal side of you, also the professional side. I don't know. We became friends and still are today.
So we know that you probably won't slow down in the next chapter of your life, but we know you'll take the love, the care, the thoughtfulness that you have into your next chapter, and we're wishing you the best.
Love you. Congratulations.
Hi everyone, and hi Kay. My name is Matt Holzer. I'm the headmaster of Boston Green Academy and a proud alum of the SLP program from 2002, where I was lucky enough to take the school reform course with Kay Merseth. I'm not able to be here tonight, but Kay, I just want to say thank you so much for inspiring me and for challenging me. I remember very clearly coming into your class and thinking, you know what, I kind of know some of this stuff, and you clearly proved that I did not. And I'm grateful to that because you exposed me to a wide range of ideas and opinions that I hadn't seen before. And I think it's made me a better person and maybe a better teacher when I left the program, and a better school leader by the time I got to this job. And so I just want to say thank you. You connected me long after I left the ed school with a number of folks, and have sent students to our school to learn and also to challenge me into thinking about how we can always be better. I was always impressed by your high standards and expectations for what a school should be, but also your creativity and your ideas about how they can be better. You never shied away from an argument, and you were very kind enough to listen to mine when I was a student, and it was a pleasure to work with you on a case. So I just want to say, on behalf of myself and every other person who went through your course and said, you know what, I think I'd like to try to start a school, and I've now gotten my shot. Thank you, and thanks for making me a better student and a better person. Congratulations on your launch. I look forward to all the great things you'll do, and I look forward to staying in touch. Have a great evening.
Hi, Kay. I just wanted to say I'm really excited to be able to say thank you to you. I've been thinking a lot about how I would not have finished my doctorate, and I certainly wouldn't still be at Harvard if it had not been for your very immediate model and affirmation. When I first started in 2008, I don't know if you remember this, I wrote you an email saying thank you. Because in my first few days of being on campus, I started to feel like it wasn't possible for me to get my doctorate and still be who I was. And really be grounded in my teaching and love my kids and wanting to get a doctorate because I wanted to be a better practitioner for my kids. And I went to a panel that you were a part of, and one of the panelists basically said, well, you wouldn't all be here as doc students if you didn't want to be researchers and you didn't want to be academics. And you, in your super special only Kay way, basically slammed that down, and you were like, no. People can be here because they have other kinds of aspirations. People can be here because they want to be really good practitioners. And you basically said, my first identity is that of a teacher. And that really honestly was so important to my seeing myself as being able to continue on that journey and to being able to be true to myself as a part of getting my doctorate. And I had not heard anyone say anything like that in the first week. And I think that was just the beginning of the ways that you influenced my work and also my teaching. Having the opportunity to be a part of your teaching team for so long and to watch you teach and to see the ways that you valued relationships, that you valued bringing your personal self to the classroom, that you valued doing innovative, fun stuff as a part of a 3-hour class, really helped me imagine the kind of teacher that I could be in higher ed. And I don't think without that example, again, that I would be able to be so secure in the way that I teach here now. I just want to thank you for really a gift I can't repay, and that is, me having had the opportunity to be who I am today from the role model that you were to me. And I hope that we can continue to be in touch and to be friends, and I hope that I can provide the inspiration for future students that you did provide for me.
First came to Cambridge in, I think, the year 2002, and I had just left Bangkok from teaching there. I was looking for a new thing to be doing in education. Thought I wanted to maybe get into teacher training, instructional coaching, that sort of thing. And I signed up for your office hours. I wasn't a student at Harvard. I just had heard you'd be a good resource to talk to, and you were amazing. You looked at my resume, and on the spot you said, I need more advisors for the teacher ed program. Why don't you do it? And that started this amazing semester, or maybe year for me, of getting to know other students and teaching and working with high school students and doing the summer academy at Cambridge Rindge and Latin, and just getting to know you. And then I was so grateful to be able to work on an academic paper with you. And it just was so incredibly empowering to feel like There was someone I really respected in the field of education who was giving me opportunities that were right in line with what I wanted to be doing. And even though I never followed your suggestion of pursuing a PhD, I was just very, very lucky to have that opportunity to dip my toes in the water of teacher ed, which led to lots of further instructional coaching afterwards. So thank you. I appreciate our friendship. I hope we get to see each other one of these days. And all the best to you. You deserve every moment of good fortune.
Hello everyone, my name is Zoe Gitana and I am a Learning and Teaching Program alumnus, class of 2006. I wish I could be there with you today, but I am a little bit far away. I am approximately 7,623 kilometers away. I am in Athens, Greece, and today I serve as the Vice President of the Board of Directors of CGS, one of the largest private schools in Greece. I am also a proud member of the Board of Directors of the Harvard Club of Greece. Kay has always been a very important part of my life, from my university days at Hugsy until most recently. A few days ago, Kay was here in Athens and she did us the honor to address a keynote speech at an educational conference that we organized. Kay, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being such a great teacher, for being such a great mentor, and I wish you all the best in your next steps and exciting future. Thank you.